Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. This video is sponsored by Awesome Remote Gaming Desktop. More on that later. Following from my video about the middleweight boxing champion, we're now going to look at the larger side from there. We're going to be looking at two separate weight classes, the light heavyweight ships from 200 to 500 SCU, and the heavyweight ships from 500 to 1000 SCU, and then a nod to the super heavyweight category above 1000 SCU, which so far contains just the Hull C. And since I'm trying to add something new to each of these videos, I'm going to look at the Polaris simply from the standpoint of how well it works as a cargo ship. Of course, it's much more than just a cargo ship, but the one thing that every capital ship owner needs to think about is what they're going to be doing with it between big battles. Now, before getting into the ship rankings, a word from this video's sponsor, Awesome Remote Gaming Desktop. For most of my professional life, I've been using remote desktop software to administer servers and remote users, but I've never really seen it as a way of playing PC games remotely, particularly on a mobile device, until I saw what Awesome has done. The key feature that changed my mind was their virtual keyboard tech for mobile devices, which allows you to customize locations on the screen with particular commands, including long press capabilities. Now, will this be as good as sitting at your own computer? Of course not, particularly as there will be another set of latency in the chain, but taking care of housekeeping tasks when you're away, which is typically what it's used for, should be fine. The video will be smooth for these tasks since it has H.264 video compression, and the connection is secured with 256-bit AES encryption. Awesome also has a free version and a lower tier version for those with simpler needs. You can find all the information you need at sun.allray.com. And to review the 7 criteria, they are gridded SCU capacity, grid efficiency in being able to fill the grid capacity with the fewest containers, vehicle carry capacity, particularly if the vehicles can be carried without losing grid space, the ability to carry an Atlas mech, particularly without losing cargo space, the presence of an onboard tractor beam, whether the grid is easy to access for loading and unloading, and finally, price. Now let's look at the light heavy freight category, which is a pretty good place to be for doing many cargo missions. At the bottom of the light heavy freight class is the Starfarer and Starfarer Gemini. And where they fall down is how difficult their 290 SCU of cargo is to load. In some ways, it feels kind of unfair to be so harsh with the Starfarer, as its design was created long before the system of different size crates and manual loading was even conceived of. So the 3 separate areas of odd number SCU dimensions can hardly be pinned on the designers of the craft, although its maze-like interior doesn't help either. So until CIG finally makes refueling meaningful in the game, this is going to continue to be a ship rarely seen. Second place, the Carrack. Now, the Carrack has a lot of non-cargo things going for it, as do many of the ships in these upper weight classes, but the point of the comparison is whether it is a good choice if you're looking as it being a cargo ship in your fleet. And the main problem is the same as all of the modular ships as cargo ships. The cargo space has to be divided into 3 separate cargo modules plus the front cargo bay, giving it a low efficiency score despite having the largest total capacity in this class. And despite the other promises of modularity, for now, all we have available are cargo modules. So all that modular goodness can be used for is cargo. Now, when in the future they add bomber modules or torpedo modules or drop seat modules or whatever, the Carrack will finally achieve the versatility promised by modularity, and only a very unimaginative person will think of it as ever being just a cargo carrier. But for now, that's what it is, and not a particularly efficient one. So first place in the light heavy freight cargo category goes to the Starlancer MAX. Even though at 224 SCU, it is actually the lightest in the category. But the efficiency is quite high, as well as the ease of loading the off-grade vehicle and Atlas carrying capacities. Now, we get to the heavy freight category at 500 to 1000 SCU. Number 3 there is another ship that is hurt by not fulfilling the potential of its modularity, the Caterpillar. Like the Starfarer, it was designed long before we were thought to be needing to be worrying about individual crates, and someday when there are medical modules and turret modules and drop seat modules, etc., the thought of the Caterpillar being a cargo ship will quickly fade away. Then in second place, going strictly by my rules, is the Hercules Starlifter C2. But if you think just a little outside the box, actually it's first place. The reason is that the length of the 2 cargo grids is an odd number, so it takes a whole lot of 2 SCU boxes at the end, which reduces its overall efficiency. But those 2 SCU boxes at the end don't add that much to the capacity. So if you just ignore them and only load 32 SU boxes, the capacity is only slightly hurt at 640 SU instead of 696, but the efficiency more than doubles to the maximum value of 32, and the resulting score jumps it to first place. In fact, the 640 SU Limited C2 has the highest score among any cargo ship. Either way, contributing to the score was the excellent off-grid vehicle and Atlas storage. So what is the ship that also is at the top of the heap of the heavy freight cargo with the C2? And it is the Polaris. Yes, in spite of its lofty price and all its warship capabilities, the Polaris, judged simply as a cargo ship, is quite respectable. The grid is very efficient, needing only 32 and 24 SU containers to be completely filled. It has an onboard tractor beam and excellent off-grid vehicle and Atlas storage. So finally, a note on the sole ship in the super heavy freight category, the Hull C. Of course, it scores way beyond any of the others in cargo capacity, and of course is highly efficient, and also now that since external cargo grids can have Atlas mechs attack, it gets them a point for that, but would you ever really? Vehicle carrying capacity hurts their score, as does the lack of an external tractor beam, which makes it kind of a shame that for a ship their size, they couldn't have found space for an Argo tractor bay. So all in all, the Hull C totaled 1/10 of a point less than the Hercules C2. Now for an update on my giveaways. First, we have the video contest that I recently announced, running until the September release, whatever that release number is, with the reward being either the amazing, all-encompassing assault lander, the Asgard, or the terrifying tactical carrier, the Starlancer TAC. Look at the reference video for the contest rules. Then we have our regular annual IAE Week giveaway for the shiny stainless steel series shipping ship, the Starlancer MAX, and then the Grow the Channel ship giveaway for the winner's choice of the marvelous multi-role mining meta, the Arrasta, or the Benu Big Box Bargain Bazaar, the Merchantman. 1 entry per video for those 2 drawings. Be a member for automatic entry with each video, or just subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is what the C2 is vastly improved by if you limit its cargo to. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the first. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.